Hey folks, my name is Mo Amir and this is VANCOLOUR, British Columbia's bona fide culture and politics TV talk show. Tonight, is BC's political polarization leaving some voters without a political home? We'll hear from the BC United MLA who called Kevin Falcon cowardly for suspending BC United's election campaign and collaborating with the BC Conservatives. But first, Conservative Party of BC candidate for Nanaimo-Lanceville, Gwen O'Mahony, went viral after posting a video of herself outside of the Nanaimo Hospital emergency room, where a vending machine dispenses free crack pipes and cocaine snorting kits. These care and connection kiosks from Island Health distribute free harm reduction supplies, including naloxone kits. In addition to Nanaimo, they are also located at hospitals in Campbell River and Victoria. The BC Conservatives say that this type of free drug paraphernalia enables addiction. Here to discuss is someone who overcame homelessness and addiction themselves, an expert in harm reduction and recovery with lived experience. He is Guy Felicella. Guy, what an honor. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me. We made it happen.
We did. So I got to ask you, why is the government distributing crack pipes, inhalation kits, snorting kits, needles at hospitals?
Well, I mean, obviously, we are in a public health emergency. Poison drugs are killing 6 British Columbians every day, and having access to clean supplies reduces the harms caused by that supply as well. And so, for us, with substance use, when people are using these facilities or accessing these services, if they don't have clean supplies, then they will use dirty supplies. And then these health complications can come and really be a challenge.
What sort of health complications are we talking about if people are using quote unquote dirty inhalation kits or dirty, snorting kits for cocaine?
Well, you can get cracks in your mouth, blood-to-blood contact with another individual. You get Hep C, HIV. And then it's like, so here's the thing. You can hand out a $2.50 bag of supplies, or you can spend, $250,000 in later on in life health complications on an individual. But Hep C as well, like for one treatment of Harvoni, it's about $41,000 just to treat somebody for hepatitis C.
Okay, so basically these supplies are being distributed so that infectious disease or other sort of infections aren't being spread within communities that use drugs.
100%, yeah.
Okay. Is this the same sort of philosophy behind Insight or needle exchanges?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's the same thing. We're just trying to reduce the harms caused, health complications that people get from using these substances. And also, too, listen, like if you take them away, I mean, you're going to have an astronomical amount of health costs in people's lives. And for me, I don't know why the Conservatives or people like me who support both harm reduction and recovery, I mean, we save taxpayers a lot of money by reducing those harms.
Interesting. So then why don't the BC NDP just say, hey, these things that the Conservatives are rallying against, if the Conservatives had their way, you would actually have outbreaks of hepatitis C or HIV or other infectious diseases. Why don't they just say that?
You know what? That's the $1 million question that I keep asking. It's like, we already have 30 years of evidence that these reduce multiple health costs in our society. And so, this is why they're there. And taking them away will just make it extremely worse. Now,
the BC Conservatives also say that by distributing these, they call it drug paraphernalia, but basically these harm reduction supplies, by distributing these, the government, the province, is actually enabling addiction. So let me ask you, if someone doesn't have access to these supplies to consume drugs, don't they just stop using drugs then because they don't have the harm reduction supplies?
No, because
that's what the Conservatives are saying.
Well, if you take away a hospital, do people get sick?
I think they probably do.
Right. So It's like in taking away these services, again, we go back to the health complications in somebody's lives. But also, listen, here's another thing, too, about taking away people's pipes as well, or making them harder to access. It can actually change the direction of a substance user's life where they could start injecting drugs again. And then we are in an even tougher challenge.
Oh, so not only may they use dirty supplies to consume the drugs, but they actually may consume drugs in much more dangerous ways. Is what
right. And then also too, in sharing pipes for somebody that's, let's just say, a pure cocaine user and borrowing somebody else's pipe that does cocaine and fentanyl, these people can overdose from sharing the pipes as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Is the hospital really the best place to distribute these supplies? Because this also seemed to be one of the things that BC Conservatives weren't particularly happy about, that it's a very public space. There could be children around. Is this the best place to distribute snorting kits, inhalation kits, needles?
Well, we already have the supplies at the hospital. So listen, I mean, I would have serious concerns if it was at like a shopping center or, it's not at a playground. Kids don't play at the hospital. They go to the hospital when you're sick. And so substance users are quite frequently at the hospital as well. And so, those services are already there in a hospital. It makes sense to have it at a hospital for a kiosk. Also, too, it gives people anonymity as well, because a lot of the times, too, there's a lot of stigma attached with asking for these supplies as well for people. And like this, it's like, the majority of people, many parts of our province, die in private residence. And so, they don't go in to access these harm reduction services from an OPS.
As someone with lived experience, let's go back to the BC NDP for a second. When they see this controversy, this video did go viral, about 1 million views just on X. Does it frustrate you that the BC NDP says, okay, we're going to review it, as opposed to sticking up for the program?
Yeah. I mean, anytime, listen, I'm very passionate about accessing all services, harm reduction and recovery. And so for me, the data is already there. We already have evidence there. We need to stick up for the science and the evidence, because the evidence is clear that it does reduce health complications in people's lives. And I'll tell you something, the trajectory of people's lives, not only have I witnessed many people die of drug overdoses, I've witnessed many people's lives cut short from cirrhosis of the liver, health complications from using substances because nobody was there to support them.
Are these supplies, and we're not talking about the drugs, we're talking about the tools used to consume the drugs, are they readily available throughout BC? Because it seemed, certainly in the video, it seemed like the BC Conservatives were making this pitch that, these are everywhere and you can get them in hospitals and who knows where else you can get them online. So from your experience, and obviously you're on the ground as well, are people able to access these supplies?
Honestly, it really depends on which community and health authority. If you're in a rural community, it'll be a little bit more challenging for you to access them, as to opposed to in Vancouver, obviously. And they're put in place to reduce harm. So they're not like, yes, you can access them, but it would depend on which area and location you're at.
Guy, I appreciate your time tonight. I appreciate you illuminating us on this hot button topic that I think does need more information for people who are just not aware of this. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Folks, that was harm reduction and recovery expert Guy Felicella. Now, after some business, is BC's increasingly polarized political culture leaving some voters without a home? BC United MLA Corinne Kirkpatrick will be here to discuss.